Hi P&Gs. If you call us home, you hopefully already receive our news and events email, which comes out every Friday afternoon and has things that are coming up in the life of the church, announcements, information, etc. Last Friday we put out a questionnaire about the experiment that we've been conducting with our new service times over the summer during July and August. So we've been trying out 10 o'clock, a 12 o'clock midday communion, and then a 7 o'clock physical gathering. And we just thought it might be helpful, whether you filled in that questionnaire or not, to hear some of our reasoning and thinking as to why we thought that we would just try something different and see how it worked. The first reason, which was to move what was the 11 o'clock service to 10 o'clock, was that over the years we've had repeated requests from parents of younger children who've pointed out that by the time the old 11 o'clock service finished, which was usually about 12:15, 12:20, lots of their younger kids were quite tired, were quite hungry, and therefore becoming a bit cranky. That led to their parents becoming tired and cranky and also becoming hungry. And we've had, as I say, repeated requests over the years to consider moving that family contemporary service from 11 o'clock to an earlier time. And during lockdown, we realised that we could experiment as we began to return to physical gatherings, and that's why we moved it from 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We recognise it won't suit everybody and every parent and every child, but we think that that will serve the majority of younger children to enable them to have a better experience, and therefore their parents to have a better experience of church on a Sunday morning. The second reason for moving it was that between the old 9 o'clock service and the 11 o'clock service, our musicians who were playing at 11 o'clock only had 30 minutes to set up and sound check. And if you talk to any of our music teams or any of our AV teams who were involved in setting up for the 11 o'clock service, they will say that that 30-minute slot was the most stressful time of their week or month. It was incredibly time pressurized and quite frantic at times. Moving the service to 10 o'clock enables them to come in at, say, 8:30 and to have a good hour to set up, to sound check at their leisure. And it means it's a much better experience, again, for those serving in that team. And the people who came to our old 9 o'clock service often used to complain that their time after the service over coffee and their conversations and their chances to catch up with each other, often those conversations were interrupted by the sound check for the 11 o'clock, even if they were sitting in the ground floor hall, and it became quite disruptive and intrusive. So those were three of the reasons that shaped our thinking. We do recognise that it means that fewer people are affected by the introduction of parking charges, which come in now at 12:30 and last until 6:30. But it means that the 350, 400 people who were attending our 11 o'clock service, if they come to our 10 o'clock, they won't be affected by the parking charges. Our conviction is also that we will be able to grow our 12 o'clock communion service in a way that we haven't been able to grow our 9 o'clock. Our 9 o'clock communion service, and we're committed to a liturgical communion service each week, has stayed at about 80 or 90 people. But our hope is that moving it to 12 o'clock midday will mean that we can grow it and offer it to more people, and that that service will grow even more. Our 7 o'clock service is staying at 7 o'clock. We did think about moving it to 6 or 6:30, but it seemed a bit crazy to move it to, say, 6:30 or 6, and therefore have more people impacted by the parking charges. We want to have some hospitality before our 7 o'clock, and when guidelines and restrictions allow us to do that, we will move to having that. So we just thought that would be helpful for you to know some of our reasoning and our thinking. And we just encourage you, if you have been to one of our 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock or 7 o'clock services over the summer, to click that link in the news and events email and to give us your feedback. We recognise that it won't please everybody, and we recognise that it will affect different people in different ways. We recognise that for some people who have served faithfully at each of our three services, this new service pattern may make it more different and may make it more challenging. So we want to say thank you for all that you are and all that you've given, and please tell us what works for you, the positive and the negative. It'd be great if you could fill that questionnaire in. Thanks.